you had an interesting take, and I've always been fascinated by this particular subject myself, and I wanted to see if maybe we could go into some of your backstory on your views on a higher power, on aliens.
I'm out there, but
I know it's
I can't prove any of it.
It's definitely outside the realm of not possibility of
normal
of the
more,
norms,
more average,
for sure. So if you wouldn't mind, if you just start off at the beginning, I guess,
okay.
about kind of where.
I will say this: even though you can't prove it, doesn't mean shit, because we can prove shit with Hillary Clinton and it didn't mean nothing.
That's right.
So it's about the same.
That's right. Okay, that's true.
Hashtag accurate.
I'll start at the beginning. When I was around 7 or 8 years old, sleeping in the middle of the night, somebody came in the room. The lights were off, and they're getting me up out of bed. I thought it was my mom and dad, but I didn't know. But it was an upstairs. So I was upstairs in my bedroom sleeping, and I don't know what time in the morning, middle of the night, They got me up out of bed, got me under each arm. There's 2 of them. What are mom and dad doing? Because that's who I thought it was. Mm-hmm. Who else, right?
Yeah, you're still groggy.
Yeah, and then I realized, man, I'm really groggy. I can't wake up. And my head would hang, and then I'd try to look a little, and they got me out the door, and we're heading across the rec room to the back door. There's a back door with steps down to the yard. Well, when we got to the back door, I actually could see there was a little light, and it was a gray. You ever heard of them?
A gray?
A gray.
Yes.
A gray alien, okay? The short ones. So
yeah,
they weren't much
classic,
taller than me. I'm
like the classic image of the big head.
Yeah, the big head, like almond eyes or whatever they call it, But I say, it's dark, and I really didn't get a good look.
Guest star David Duchovny. No, I'm sorry. I had to do it. I'm sorry.
That's all right. But now, I have a very vivid imagination, and I used to have some really wild dreams, But this was different because I could not wake up. I couldn't come out of it. And they're dragging me. They dragged me across the upstairs, and we're heading down the back steps. And I remember trying to catch my feet, and they're dragging and flopping on the steps. They're carrying me. And we got to the back gate, and I don't know why we're going out the back gate. And I got a good look. I looked up, and clearly it was a gray with the big eye, and he was looking away from me out to the field. And he realized I looked, and he looked at me did a oh shit kind of face, just blinked like that. And then the other one, who I never saw because I was only looking to that side. My head pushed back down, and then I went out. I can't remember anything, and I woke up in bed the next day.
And your butt hurt.
Wondered about nothing like that.
No anal probing.
No.
You sick fuck.
And I don't know anything about.
It's never a happy ending.
I clearly saw a gray.
So first, I do appreciate that you acknowledge that there's no way of proving this at all.
And
I'm just excited.
I never talked about it with anybody until I was near 50 years old, and I'm 59 now.
This is exciting just to hear it for first-hand account.
Well, I have told a few people. I told my brother. I never told my parents. I didn't want to, because it's crazy, right?
Yeah, it absolutely does sound crazy.
I was tore up about it, though.
And to be fair, of all the conversations we've had, you strike me as a very thoughtful, intelligent guy. I mean, you really know
logical.
Your shit. In many cases, you really seem to know your shit. And this one story seems like this outlier. Yeah. I mean, and it just blows my mind. I know for a fact you are convinced. Okay.
Yeah,
I know for a fact you're convinced. I know, and I like I said, I appreciate your acknowledgement that you can't prove it. Right. But it was interesting how you took that story and you turned it into something more.
Well,
in terms of.
Hold on, guys. Before you drag me out, let me GoPro this.
Oh,
that's what he should have said. Hey, hold on, guys. Let me GoPro this.
What is that GoPro? I
Selfie.
don't understand. Oh.
I'm pretty sure this was pre-GoPro.
But I kept it to myself.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't tell anybody. Because it wasn't normal. I've had dreams. I've had very vivid dreams. And I wouldn't go into that because it's outrageous. But this was not the same. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm struggling to get my head up and look. And I couldn't wake up, and I kept, like when you're so sleepy, your head drops, and boom, you're out. I mean, I could not come out of it, but I did come out a little bit, and I got to look at the top of the stairs, and then I remember at the fence, at the back gate, and he I remember the alien going, turn and look at me, going, like that. Like, look, he's looking at me. Shit, you know.
We know
And my
if you
head
would've-
went. They pushed. I know they pushed my head down, and then I was out. I don't remember anything after
Yeah,
that.
we know if you would have told your parents, you'd been on some pretty heavy
Yeah,
psychotropes.
that's right. You know, and I was smart enough to no, maybe something. You know, maybe I'll dream about it again or something. You know, maybe.
So you spent years trying to find some kind of alternate explanation.
Yeah. So like, I'm reading the Bible. I love the Ancient Aliens show.
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm like, some of that stuff is. Hey.
I can't watch them because every time I watch them, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Really?
Start drooling. This is so cool.
I can't prove any of this. It's still blowing my mind.
Yeah, and it was awkward. I gotta tell you, it was awkward for the longest time. I just,
Yeah.
I just kept it to myself, and then I finally just felt like, well, I don't care anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I'm too old now to be worried what people are thinking about me, and I started telling people, you know, and of course, like Daniel at work in my zone,
Yeah.
he makes fun of me about it, but even he's starting to go, because I'm not backing down. I told him what I told him. There it is.
Yeah, I've tried to punch all sorts of holes in it.
Yeah.
You know, from time to time, you know,
But
because
so-
the subject comes up. You know.
And for a while there, I was thinking maybe it was a dream, but it just was not the same. I
Just
know
didn't
when I'm
feel
dreaming.
like
I
a
know
dream.
when mom and dad or somebody, your brother, come in, and wake you up in the middle of the night, you know, and it just was not like that.
I mean, if you woke up in the middle of the night, within a few minutes, you're kind of like, okay, what's going on?
Right.
Not, for...
No,
it sounds like 5 to 7, maybe 10 minutes or so.
Well, it's only maybe like 4 minutes.
Okay.
Get it out of the bedroom, cross the rec
Yeah.
room, down the stairs to the back gate.
So they were moving pretty good speed then.
Well, we were moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were alive. To my, because I was foggy, man. I really was foggy, but it was not like a dream. It was like I had been doped.
My question
As I
is-
got older, and went to the dentist and a few things, took like pain pills or something, I started realizing,
It's not the same level of grogginess.
it was different. It was really different. Something different had happened, and I feel like, I call it being doped for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't pull out of it. I was young. I was vibrant, full of energy. When I wanted to wake up, buddy, I woke up. And my mind was saying, get up, and I just couldn't do it, you know?
So what was your...
My question is, why the fuck did they walk? I mean, wouldn't they have like segways or some shit?
No. That was
Well, that's true.
not random at all.
That's probably true, but they don't use them here. They don't want to, like something like the wheel fall off, and then, they got everything.
So my next
Leave it
serious question
Yeah.
would be, you didn't remember anything after the back gate. Is there any sort of
Backache.
back gate?
Back gate. Okay.
Not
sorry.
back.
Sorry.
God, the aliens really.
I thought you were
put a
going
number
where
on
he's
me.
going on.
Wait, there was no anal carving. What are you talking about backache?
No, but after the back gate, you said you didn't remember nothing. Now, has
Yeah.
there been since that experience? Has there been any kind of
No.
Like-
Nothing.
No, I'm not saying another experience, but have you been able to, I guess, get small bits and pieces from like a subconscious recognition or cognitive thing in dreams, like you remembered something past the back gate at all, and somehow
No.
it was just a fleeting thing and
No.
disappeared?
And I've been. It's on my mind. It's always in the back of my mind because it was a solid experience that these were not humans.
Yeah.
So
it struck
it's
me-
like it's there. It's always there in the back of my head.
It struck me funny because there's been a few times when you attribute, where most folks of the religious, group would be like, God's watching over me.
Which you are not.
I'm not, but you've said things like, they're watching over me in reference to these aliens as if they are the higher power. And it seems like this thing has such an impact on you that you've taken it, or
I'm always looking at
rationalized it into-
I'm going off on tangents, but,
Yeah.
because I learn more things. Like later in my life, when I first saw people talking about the Greys, I was like, bam, because I didn't know.
And then it all rushes
I'd never
back.
seen a picture of a Grey or anything. Then one day, there's other people have experienced something like this, and they're calling them Greys.
Have you felt any sort of weird feeling to other humans? Like, let's say you're walking by somebody, you just get this weird feeling from me, whether you know them or not.
Yeah.
Because the reason I was asking is because
I get that with you every time you sit your ass next to me. I mean, I don't know where this is going.
I might be an alien. You don't know.
Could be. You never know.
My classified files, you can't get a hold of anyway. Because because the reason I was asking, because I had a buddy whose aunt, actually, he told me the story, who disappeared, whatever, for like 4 or 5 years, whatever. She was driving down a back country road. And when they found her again, they actually found the truck a few miles from where she was found.
How far from the disappearance till they found the truck? Just because I'm curious.
Like 4 or 5 years.
Took you 5 years to find the truck?
Yeah, because her and the truck had just disappeared.
Oh, okay.
But when they found her, they eventually found the truck as well. And inside the truck was newspapers and a prescription bottle from 4 to 5 years before that. Mm. So obviously, you know, something's weird, but she always said that she could now, like, kind of feel who's really who. Like, she would get a weird sense around certain people, whether she knew them or not. And she kind of thought, you know, they were aliens. That's why I was asking you. You know, do you get a weird sense around certain people?
I have had experiences like that, but they're like mild, and I'm like, because of all I had was the one experience at 7 or 8 years old. You know, so young. But you're right. I have experienced along those lines.
It would be easy to try to, you know, anything you feel that kind of feels abnormal to try to attribute it to that, you know.
But
in some way,
I kind of dismiss it because I know other people go through, you know, something about that person. Yeah. You know, like something about their look or, you know, just
feeling.
Yeah. And a lot of people go through that, and who never aliens, no, you know, but you know. But yeah, you're right. I have experienced that, but I kind of don't get much out of it because I'm thinking of the Greys. They're not very tall. But now, as I watch Ancient Aliens and other things like the UFO stuff, you know, a lot of them are so corny and hokey. I can't sit through them. Yeah, but some of them are very enlightening.
Because it's hard to repeat any of these things, you know.
Yeah.
Like that's part of how you prove things. Is it has to be repeatable. You have to be able to.
Right.
You know,
right.
Yeah, if you can call the aliens down, you got to be able to do it again.
I never met anybody else that told me they saw Greys, because I haven't really started telling people.
Or maybe recently, because they're crazy too.
I never had it. Like I would bring it. It would come up. You know, we see a space movie or something. You know, oh, you ever no, you know. But some people would say some things like maybe it's true or whatever. But nobody ever said they saw a Grey. Yeah. You know,
I can't say I've seen any aliens, but I've seen a UFO once when I was about 14. Me and my buddy were at the school park when we were out hanging out there, you know, late at night, hooligan shit. But we saw, you know, we were just sitting there watching the planes.
What were you really doing?
Smoking pot.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, we were just watching planes fly by, which completely dismisses my case now because I was fucking high.
Yep. So we were watching on the next story.
Yeah,
now.
we were watching planes fly by, and also just over the horizon of the trees, we see this like just big, not really big, but about the size of a plane, just red, just a red little light flying, and we're just like, oh, okay, you know, that's a weird plane, but cool. But then we saw a plane coming this way, and this thing kept a normal speed, but when it was getting closer to the plane, it sped up, and in our eyes, it missed it by like a millimeter in the sky, which is probably, you know, maybe hundreds or thousands
6
feet.
miles.
Yeah, it could be. But when it was flying by, man, it just sped up, and as soon as the plane passed, it just slowed down, and eventually drifted off, and just disappeared. Huh. So that was the only, I guess, alien experience I've ever had.
Well, it could have been. That brings to mind something I do want to talk about too. In '69, we saw UFOs.
Summer of '69.
Now, I grew up, Runway 7 come over my house. Big planes are always coming over.
Where was this at now?
Southeast Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah, west of Detroit. Wheeler Run Airport's the industrial airport, and then Metro Airport is like passengers. Okay. Wheeler Run used to be the passenger airport. Well, anyway, one night, and it wasn't just me. There was a bunch of us kids in the neighborhood. We were out playing hide and seek or whatever, you know. I was like maybe like 12.
Smoke a pot.
No, we're not yet. I wasn't.
Not yet.
And other kids might have.
When the '70s hit, it went downhill from there.
But we all seen planes. We knew planes because they were always coming and going. Learjets, stuff like that, but mostly cargo planes, big prop planes. But we saw these things up there, man. They were not normal. They were not airplanes. Don't know what the hell they were. But we're all standing around watching them for like a half hour, and there was like 7 or 8 of us. And then now what makes that pertinent is just a few years ago I'm watching TV. I'm flipping channels like UFOs in the White House. What? Now normally I say, well, UFO shows are kind of corny, some of them, you know. But I say, oh, White House. Oh, let's check this out. You know, they're talking about Truman. This is right after World War II. He's going to go out to see the guy that conquered the Philippines again, that general.
Mhm.
Anyway, he had the people were calling him about UFOs. And then they say coming up next, the Gerald Ford White House. Whoa, Jerry Ford, he's from Michigan. And they said in '69, people all across southern Michigan were calling him saying, "You got to look into these UFOs."
Oh wow.
And they say now, well, Jerry Ford's the head of the Department of Defense wasn't available, so they got the Undersecretary of Defense, the head of the CIA, and I can't remember the other. Mm-hmm. And then they show a picture of the four of them in the White House where he called this meeting to call these guys in. You won't believe who the other three men were.
Were they Grays?
George Bush, head of the CIA,
Yeah.
the first George, Donald Rumsfeld, and Dick Cheney.
Oh my God! What the hell?
And I'm thinking, God, these guys have been running this country for a long time.
Long time.
Long time. These guys are... A lot of this UFO stuff is our own stuff. That's my theory on that one. It's just a theory. Because I can't
government created, secret, top
Yeah.
secret planes and such like that.
That's the stuff that they're showing us stealth. And what do they really got? See? To bury you in stealth, and the people will think, well, we got this technology for stealth and whatnot, but what they really got, maybe they got from the Nazis or the crash out in where is that, Area 51,
Well, I mean, the Nazis were pretty deep into some alien and occult stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they were talking about alchemy and magic and
they were
different
looking into
dimensions.
everything.
Yeah, they were
going
going deep into the stuff the Nazis were. I mean, it's fucking insane if you go dig into it.
And we got most of their best scientists. And they're doing NASA with them. What was the one guy's name? The German scientist.
Oh, you're talking about
name guy.
Oh, yeah.
Way back before your time, I can't even remember the name now, but I bet a lot of that stuff is just a cover for the other stuff, the UFO stuff. I think that we have stuff because Jerry Ford, who was part of the Warren Commission that buried the Kennedy assassination, which is a whole nother thing to get into. But
that's a fun one.
And I believe that they're all part of that group. They killed off Kennedy and went into Vietnam, because they want to make money.
Yeah,
that's what that was all about, making money. But it was just I saw them three sitting in there with Jerry Ford. I'm thinking, I hate them guys.
It all makes sense now.
I hate them guys.
I imagine it's probably a lot more likely that rather than having alien life forms visiting us, that this is just government intelligence that we're kind of catching witness of, or they're testing out stuff to see how it works.
Well, it's really probable.
I mean, as far as the
level of technology,
can't even think. Just of the more likely of the two, because usually the simplest explanation is
the best. Is a good one.
Is the right one.
Yeah.
Usually, but
best.
Yeah, I think that in this case, I think that's pretty safe to say, because I mean, there's got to be some stuff that we've got militarily that.
Oh yeah, they're not telling anybody.
That you wouldn't want to. You want to catch your enemy.
I'm sure
by
there
surprise,
are things that are.
Yeah, they're way
a few
ahead of
decades
things.
advanced past what we have now. Just like
sound weapons,
teleportation.
Yeah,
possibly.
That would be awesome.
Until the fucking fly mixes in there, like in The Simpsons, and then you're Bart Simpson with a fucking fly head.
Yeah.
It cool. Yeah, that kind of stuff could happen.
That's how aliens.
I mean, they got things like a God, what is it? A quartz computer chip now, or something like that. But it's about this big and it's see-through, and it's like 500 terabytes. They said that on this one computer chip, they could store all the information in the world on it, and it's good for hundreds of years. It won't degrade.
Terabytes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think 500 terabytes is. It's not.
No,
it's not a lot.
I'm just saying it's
not a lot.
No,
it's not all the information in the world. I'll tell you that.
You know, all the information in the world only weighs about 1.3 pounds.
I'm sorry, what?
All the information in the world only weighs about 1.3 pounds.
Oh,
in bytes?
If you're talking about as far as digital footprint?
Yeah.
That's interesting, actually.
I mean, this stuff is super interesting, and it brings up certain things, sort of like all the different theories out there. Like, how has mankind in the past 100 to 200 years just took this huge leap forward in technology?
Yeah, there's a number of theories out there as far as the prefrontal cortex and the way it was developed, and I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but the guy has this theory about the monkeys kind of coming down out of the trees and trying, basically discovering psychedelics like magic mushrooms, stuff that kind of gives you a different
I've heard that. Yeah.
View of reality, kind of just makes you feel like one with the universe, that kind of thing. There's something to that gives you this
ayahuasca. Mother ayahuasca.
Stuff like that. There's this theory that that's kind of where that started to develop that prefrontal cortex area more so, and it just like sped up the evolutionary process. Well, it's an interesting theory. I don't know how you would prove it, but
my favorite theory is that we are in fact aliens.
That's
my favorite theory.
Theory-wise, I don't believe any of it, but theory-wise, I'm kind of leaning towards we are Earthlings, but we have been brought up to this point by interbreeding, crossbreeding, selection by the aliens. Who are not from Earth, but they I think they came here and found life or a situation where they could start life here, and went from there.
Well, it kind of fits considering that if you go back and trace your DNA, back hundreds of thousands of years, a lot of people have Neanderthal DNA in them. They have Denisovanan, whatever that other one is, DNA.